1, 2. Here we are live once again. My fellow simpletons and degenerates. Um, we are now going on our second live in a row, or third live in a row, one of those things. But, anyways, stock market is open, and here we are once again uh, taking advantage of the opportunity that the market is giving us. All right. Let me just tell the folks on the Discord that I am in fact alive, and we'll start ASAP. Matter of fact, I think I just started. So here we go. Um, Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is taking advantage of the all the opportunities the market is giving us today. Since I think that um, we're definitely going to go down. I feel today, we especially um, because of J Powell, right, and the meeting. That's exactly how I feel of the market this morning, guys. Uh, Welcome. I'm the Savage of Wall Street, and we're live again. So trading hours are in effect, and we are all about taking what the market is giving us. So what do we have here today? Well, SoFi seems to have taken it on the chin, and a lot of people, I guess, got a little greedy yesterday. And I did tell you guys, sell some covered calls. You don't have to sell covered calls on all of your position, but if you sold on 50% of them, you could have easily written some 25s when you saw the downtrend, right? You could have easily sold 25s expiring, September, October, January. And I told you guys, you could always roll over, right? However, we are where we are. You could have made a killing on those covered calls. You could have made a couple of dollars per share, and then you could have bought back today. But you know what? We are where we are. Some people don't know how to write covered calls. Others, they were waiting for 30, I guess. But that's what SoFi does. SoFi will break your heart. And during earnings, that's exactly what is always expected from SoFi. I keep telling you guys about the volatility, right, that is created during earnings, and how people take advantage of the volatility to buy low, sell high, right? And they buy covered calls or they buy calls. Some buy cash secure puts, and they'll take advantage of that gyration. Anyways, that's what we do as option writers. We take advantage of high IVs. We take the most premium we can get from calls or cash secure puts, and then we make a profit when we buy to close or sell to open. That's just the way that it goes. Anyhow, the market seems to have a mixed bag today going. And my stocks are all over the place. I think what's going on here is there's anticipation for Jerome Powell speaking later, and they're trying to bake it in. At least some companies are. Whatever negativity is going to come out of his mouth, um, or specifically what he won't say, that's going to make the market go down. However, there's semiconductors are green. GME just went green, so that's a good thing. Not by much. Roblox is definitely green. And Roblox is one of those companies that I was talking about when it was in the 20s and the 30s. And I was telling people, it wouldn't be a terrible thing to do a cash secure put for $30 or 40. And then he just ran. It's $123 now. I did the same thing with Palantir. You don't have to believe what I'm saying now. You can just look at the videos in the past. And I was kind of pounding the table when Roblox went to like 29, 30, 31, $32. And I said, it's a good company. They're making a lot of money. They're profitable. um, and they don't have a view where they're just thinking about next quarter or next year. They're thinking 10 years down the road, right? Um, I, there's a really, really big Roblox community, and that community happens to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 year olds. Okay. They're creating kind of they're creating a community of children that are growing up knowing exactly what Roblox is. And what's most importantly is they are creating a community that knows what Robux are. I don't know if any of you guys have kids, but my kids are always bothering me to buy them some Robux because it's digital currency that they use when they're in the Roblox world. I don't know if you know just how um, bothersome it can be to have a 4 and 5 year old screaming at you every day to buy some Robux. But sometimes you do it just so they be quiet. And Roblox is making money, and so anyways, hopefully some people ended up buying a couple of shares in the past and are making a nice chunk of cash now. Same thing with Palantir was like $10, 15, $20, and I was pounding the table saying, guys, this company is going to $100. It, nobody knows when, right? But you have a very good idea, and then look at it, it's $150. So anyhow, C3.ai was like, I don't know, $10, and I was telling people about it. Unity went down to like $12, $11, and I was telling people about it, and that's my savage stocks. you know um Dude, who do we have here though? Let's see. Good morning. Good morning, wherever you're watching me from. I'd like to know where people are watching from, if you guys don't mind. Also, I'd like to know a stock you guys are trading. I'm very curious to. I know we all trade SoFi, we all trade GME, but what is one stock that you guys are trading that not many people know about, or that is kind of like your baby and like your your gatekeeping? I'm just curious because there's a couple of them that I have, obviously, and I never really talk about them. Um, but there's some that like I believe that I'm taking the risk because I want to be the data point that I'm looking for. And I've done some research. It looks like a good company. I've taken the plunge, but I'm just watching to see what it does. Sometimes it pans out, very few times it doesn't, but that's fine. I'm just curious. Let's see here. So, dude is saying he's live. How you doing, dude? Nice to see you. Andres de la Torre out here. Andres de la Torre, how are you? Legacy 13 is saying good morning. Beach Boy, there can only be one savage, baby. That's right. Kent's mom is here again. Kent's mom, good morning. Kent's mom is a regular, man. She's always watching me, and I truly doing. I enjoy reading her messages, her notes, as I enjoy knowing she's on the live, man. That's kind of cool. Good morning, Kent's mom. Uh, she's saying savage. Dude is saying he's got the bear up, folks. That's a savage signal. I do have the bear up. It's right there, and that should give you a cue on how I feel about the market. You could be seeing this guy right here, right? This guy right here is basically us riding that bull market, right? But if you don't see this guy, that means that I feel like this guy should be up, right? So all right, here we go. JD saying the $22 January 27 cash secure puts I wrote an hour ago got as high as 22% profit at like 30 cents a share, less than it's trading now. Yet the profit percentage will go negative, which is weird. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about here, but I'm gonna guess you're talking SoFi. So the $22 January cash secure puts I wrote an hour ago got as high as 22% profit at like 30 cents a share, less than it's trading now. You know what? Ivy Crush. That's what's happening. The volatility goes down. The more you get away from earnings, and it's just not, those options aren't trading as much in the future, right? So you'll see that the volume on the contracts, if you took a screenshot or wrote down the volume of options trading yesterday, it's a lot less than it is today. And that's what happens, right? So like with cash secure puts, the stock could be even lower, and yet the cash secure put will not be lower, or higher. I mean, because um, the volatility is less. And conversely, with calls, some calls, because the stock could be at, let's say, $23, and the call is at $2, right? And then today, that call could be 22.50, and the call itself has moved just a little bit, not necessarily as much as yesterday. It's called IV crush, and that's what's happening. And this is exactly why you have to. I personally love selling calls and cash secure puts uh, on earnings day, because the volatility is so high and the premiums are so much more high. And then just by the next day, even if the stock doesn't move, you make money. And this is exactly why I love um, covered calls and cash secure puts, because the stock could absolutely do nothing. There's some stocks that lag for months, and you're making money. So we make money on the way up, right? And that's the name of the game. That's why we're watching me, right? That's why we're investing, because you know that you make money on the way up. You want to make money on the way up, and you want to know that you can make money on the way down, and you can make money on boring ass days that the stock does absolutely nothing. Just, let's say you sold a covered call that's going to expire in 5 weeks, right? That's 25 trading days. Well, let's say it's a Wednesday, right? And there's 25 days left. Well, now, by next Monday, they're going to take into account, Saturday and Sunday. So that call is going to be worth that much less. It's not like daily percentage is taken off just when you trade. It's actually when you don't trade as well, which is Saturday and Sunday. They take that into account. So I love it. This is why I love writing covered calls, like I said, during earnings, and I love writing covered calls and cash secure puts when there's going to be like 3 or 4 day weekends, which is awesome. Anyhow, let's get the thumbs up, guys. There can only be one savage. That's right. Charlie C2 saying hello to everyone. What's up, Charlie? Andres de la Torres, sound cash secure puts 1050, paying 65 on August 8th, 25. Look at the August 15th. Those are, I think, higher volume. It's easier to get out because the spread is closer, and you get more. You'll actually get more premium. When it comes to sound, though, it's so volatile, and it sometimes can spend weeks in a specific channel. That I would go to October. I would look at September and October, and see just how much you can get. Because if you can get 20% for the $10 cash secure put, which is $2, I would bring that in, because if you can get 20% in September or October, that's great. That's great. That's a great return. And then you're basically daring the market to go to $8, right? You're daring it to go to 8 and put those shares. And I mean, that is not a bad buy at all. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see what you're talking about, my friend. All right, so here we go. SoundHound is 1070 a share right now, right? We go to trade. Let's go to August 15th. Sell a put. 1050. There's 80 cents. And you're talking about the 65 August 8th one. I mean, why don't you go to September 19th and do $10? So basically you're now lowering, the amount of capital you need, which is, instead of 1,050, you could put in 1,000 and you could bring in $1. So almost two times what you're talking about there, given that on this one you're kind of locking up your cash, a little longer, but you're doubling your money. And it's like, I mean, are you trying to get the are you trying to get put those shares, or are you just playing uh the market? If you really do, like, I mean, I sell cash secure puts on companies I want to own, so I really want to dare the market to put those shares to me. I would love when, like, I love when people exercise, especially when there's like a month out, because I have all that free time, right? So I basically dare them. But right now, September is bringing you, like I said, $10 one is bringing you $100. You can go to October and bring in $127. I like September better. September 19th, you're going out a few more weeks, but you're bringing in 10%. I mean, what bank is going to give you 10% for you storing your cash with them a month? No bank in their right mind will give you that, and that's what basically you're doing, and you're basically daring the market to come in and get you, right? Let's see here. Andres del Toro, yeah, that's right. We talked about this. Kent's mom is saying, I always buy calls leading up to SoFi earnings. Always sell within 1 hour, open after earnings. Only once did I get spanked on the strategy. Otherwise, I have made a killing on this. I like it. I do the same. I don't talk about it because I basically, I don't want people to gamble, right? The reason why I buy calls is because I've already sold a lot of cash secure puts, and then I take that premium and I sell more cash secure puts, or I'll buy stock where it's at, especially one that's already devalued, and then I'll sell a covered call on that, and then I'll take that premium and then I'll buy some calls. So it's basically house money on house money, right? And if I was to lose it, I'd be totally okay with that. Which is why, number one rule of investing, right? Never invest money you're not willing to lose. So I would never expect people. I wouldn't want people to kind of put their savings, their life savings, in the stock market. 401k is very different, and I know it sounds terrible, right? Because it's your retirement, really, like, but somebody else is making money on your money. And if you teach yourself how to trade, you can make an absolute killing. For example, my wife let me get part of her 401k and trade it, and then we've and I'm making I think I just showed her the other day her portfolio. She's like, "Oh wow!" And I was just like, "Yeah." It can work because nobody's going to have your best interest at heart more than yourself, right? So that's why I'm a big proponent of taking some of that 401k under your arms, right? And then and then having it work for you, because what your interests are, right? And nobody's going to have more of an interest in you than you. And also, why pay somebody else to invest your money, especially even when they're losing money? It just makes no sense to me how, you give it to a company like Charles Schwab or Bank of America, Wells Fargo. They're investing your money, and then there's years that you get 3%, 5%, 8% return, right? And there's other years when you lose 5% and 6%, and they still take a cut. It makes no sense to me. So if for whatever reasons, let's say you were in the red for a year, at least it's you, right? You don't have anybody to blame. You can just be, it was a really bad year. But for the most part, people that I know that have taken their 401ks under their wing are doing very well. Especially if you're a conservative investor. I like to think of myself as kind of taking very little risks on stock that may seem volatile, but there's a reason for that. And I do a lot of research on companies, and it's just very unlikely for the companies that I trade in to go under, at least just based on their perspectives, right? And if they're being honest and giving you all the information. However, I have invested in companies that went under, and especially the FRB. I think First Republic Bank was one of them. FRC was the ticker. Nothing went wrong with that company. It was just a bank run. There was a bank run that happened a couple of years back, and I don't know if you guys remember the Silicon Valley fiasco. And so, anyways, First Republic Bank was a bank that was that just happened to have been in the vicinity, and people took out their money. And First, Republic was giving people their money whenever they would ask for it. And Silicon Valley was like, "No, we ain't got it. Come back tomorrow. Talk to a manager." But I mean, and then Chase took them over. I think it was a play by Chase to just have a footprint in the West Coast, and that's exactly what happened. Anyhow, so yes, don't gamble money you're not willing to lose, and don't put your life savings, especially like emergency funds, in the stock market. However, if you do have a job and you have insurance and all that stuff, and I see nothing with nothing wrong with you taking some of that cash that you're making weekly or bi-weekly and putting 10%, 5% in the stock market. It's a game where the longer you're in it, the more money you make. I know people hear about the market and say, hear people like myself or others in the Discord or on the channel saying, Beach Boys made $1,000, $2,000 in a day, right? It can happen, right? But it takes time. Beach Boy has been investing for, I think I've known Beach Boy for 5 years. And so, and I'm sure he began before that, as did I. So, the more time that you're in the market, the better it is. And the more returns you're going to see. Because companies that you buy on the cheap now, yes, they may take their time during the time you hold, but eventually in the long term, they make money, they go up in value. All right, so here we go. Yes, Ken's mom saying that she likes that strategy, and I do that too. And I'm sure Ken's mom, I've seen her around. I know she's making a few dollars, and she can be a little more cavalier when it comes to doing calls and puts, because if she has a few dollars extra, you can absolutely take a little plunge, and I call them lottery tickets, right? And sometimes they pin out. I actually bought a lottery ticket last week. I think Thursday. Tesla. I bought some Tesla puts. I paid like $750 for them. I ended up selling one right after, like literally minutes after, and I made $100. And the next one I held overnight. Tesla earnings came out. They shut the bed, and then I made over $2,000 in that trade the next day because I sold that put for over a $2,000 profit. All right, here we go. What else do we have here? You guys are writing this morning. Jesus, you guys are writing this morning. All right, Moneymaker Juan is saying, yes, Roblox was one of the, I wish I would have gone in with you. I just didn't have the cash to get in. Totally fair, Juan. Totally fair, man. Hector saying, good morning. Moneymaker Juan, yes, my kids play Roblox. See what I mean? The kids, man, those kids, they keep asking for it. And, they're like never-ending holes of despair and cash that you need to spend on. JJ saying, hi-yo, what's up, JJ? I spend like $30 monthly just for the premium membership for Roblox. You see what I mean? And that you multiply yourself by like a couple of million parents. And imagine the parents that spend $100 a month on Roblox. I mean, that's a lot of money. And it's like, it's never ending, right? Because kids, I mean, they just keep being born. And the kids are going to keep talking about it in class. And then next thing you know, your kid comes home from class saying he wants some Robux. Jeff Glassy and I have been building up cash, expecting August, September slump. But in the last week or so, I've deployed most of it on cash cure puts on the dips of Rocket Lab, ASTS, AI, and today's SoFi. I see nothing wrong with that, my friend. Jeff, I see nothing wrong with that at all. And I mean, if for whatever reasons the market keeps, going down, and we get that August and September slump, and that's okay. put those shares, or roll over and make more premium. I mean, I got some RX puts that I've been rolling over for like 3-4 months, and I roll over it monthly, and I just keep making more cash. I just keep bringing in $600, $800, $700, and it's just my cost, right? What I potentially will pay for the shares once I'm put those shares, it has go down from like the $5 to like $3 at this point, or like two something. That's insane because the stock is at $6. So that just tells you just how lucrative that can be. But you got to know when to roll. Moneymaker Juan is from Houston, Texas. I don't hold that against you, Juan. I'm from Cali, man. Ken's mom saying I only wrote covered calls on 25% of my SoFi yesterday. Bummer. Should have written 25s and all of it. And that's the thing, right? You write on 25, and I think that's great. That's a great approach. You wrote on 25% of your holdings, of your SoFi holdings yesterday. And guess what? The stock tanked, right? But I assure you, if the stock would have gone up to like 27 land, 28 land today, you'd be like, oh man, I should have written on only 10%. And now you're thinking I should have written on 50% or more. But I mean, hindsight 2020, right? It's just it's the way it works. So I think you did fine. And I mean, you made money, and the whole point of the stock market is to make money, right? So you made money, and that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. You made money. Next time, you could write on 35% of your holdings, and no big deal. And if it runs up, you can always roll, right? So I was telling people to write Octobers, and if for whatever reason the stock would have ran away, you can go from October to January, and either go up on strike, even Steven, or take some premium. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Jeff Glass is saying St. Louis, Missouri. I like St. Louis, man. Great food. Wing Commander is here. Tovin, what's going on, Wing Commander? In the house, yes, sir. Good morning, my friend. Hector saying, watching from Manitoba, Canada, trading GME. I like it. GME's is it's not doing much right now. I believe is being obviously artificially held down, but it's only a matter of time. I think when people least expect it is when GME pops. And I have not written on. I actually bought back my covered calls a few weeks ago, expecting to see a pop to 25. It went to 24, and I got greedy. And that's another thing. You can't get greedy, guys. And that's what happened to a lot of people with SoFi yesterday. Bears make money. Bulls make money in the stock market, right? And pigs get slaughtered. And that's what happened. I stayed oinking around, waiting for 25 on GME, and it never happened. I should have written when it hit 24 and change. I should have written 25 to October, taking in, I think, $3 per share. Now those are 150. In a week, I would have made 50%. I could have gotten out today and laughing my ass off like I usually do. And I got greedy. So don't get greedy. That's lesson learned. Let's see here. Ken's mom saying they like Rigetti. I like Rigetti. I like Rigetti. I actually do have, I believe, a cash account put on Rigetti. I have been looking at them for a while, and I finally took the plunge. I think they were down to like $5-6 or something. And then it went up a bit, then down, and that's kind of when I went in. Let's see here. Oh, it's down. It's 1477 right now, huh? Oh, you know what? I sold my cash secure put because it went up. Let's see here. Was it last week? Oh, sold it yesterday. I made a little money. So I got out of it. I'm waiting for it to pull back some. That's what it is. All right, here we go. Be trading GLXY. Khan is saying, Khan, how you doing, Khan? Good morning. What is GLXY? Is it Galaxy? Let's see here. Galaxy Digital. Heard about it. Oh, look, you're nice up. You're up 7% today. It's a good day to write some cover calls. Let's see what your premium is looking like. Let's go to September. If you were to sell the $30 September, oh, nice. Dude, I would be writing on it right now. You can get $380, $375 for writing a $30 covered call up to September 19th. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you wrote the January one, you can write 35 for January. 35 covered call for January, bringing $530. What? Man, out the money, bring in premium, add to your portfolio. Right now, that is up. Your ticker is up. It's up a lot. It's up more than 5%. You can take advantage of that IV. Go to January. Not financial advice is what I would do. And so I would take a $530, and then those $530, I would buy some SoFi, or better yet, I would do a cash secure put, on RXRX, or let's see, what's another stock that you could take advantage of. Yeah, no, there's a lot of opportunity out there, man. RXRX is there. Rivian is taking it in the chin today a bit. Oh, it was. It actually is recovering. There's so many ways. You can. GME is down. I would buy some GME shares as well. Let's see here. Sentinel One is down a bit. I would buy some Sentinel One. Lucid is down a lot. In the last week. So yeah, Lucid. If you were to do, with those $500, two cash secure puts, two 250s, you go up to, I don't know, say January, and you did 250s, you could bring in over 20%. You could bring in 53 cents per. That's $530 times two. That's $53. That is $106 that you bring in on your $500 investment. That's not terrible. Or you could just buy the shares, buy 200 shares outright. Nothing wrong with that. There's so many ways to go about, right? But that's a good strike, $35 strike on that company. Yeah, I never heard about it. I think, or I may have heard about it, but I just there's so many others that I'm looking at. But yeah, no, that's a good one to write on. Good premium, absolutely. Moneymaker One saying, I wheeled Intel. It's been stuck in a range for a while. No, not a big premium, but consistent. And that's what you want, right? Sometimes stocks are boring, and I like boring. It just keep making me money. Let time make you money, right? Let stocks go under, under their own weight, right? They fall under their own weight. They're basically giving you premium. Time is money, literally, on this one, and I like it. That's how I make money. J Boy's in the house. What's up, J Boy? Morning. Oh, good to see so many from Uncle Boo's channel pop up over here. I agree, man. That's exactly one of the reasons that I kind of wanted to start going live. We have a good community, right? And I figured a lot of people are probably not gonna have they're gonna want somewhere to go, right? We're gonna want to talk to the same people and take advantage of the market. And some people get discouraged when they don't have that, that consistency, right? And so, I don't want that. So, and we also have really cool people. So I figure, I'm gonna go live on my channel more often and see if people want to, come over and hang out. We can talk about, trades, especially during the market. We can talk about tickers, companies we're looking at, news, or just shoot the shit. Absolutely. I think that's kind of why I wanted to do this. And then like I said, we can talk about how we feel about the market. You guys will know how I feel about the market because I'll either have here this guy, right, or this guy right here. This is the bullish signal. So that's how I feel about the market today, guys. Now, I could be wrong, right? But that's okay. I'll tell you, I'd rather be rich than right. And that's the approach that I'm taking. I used to I used to do all my due diligence. I used to go into companies and invest and get really angry when things don't go my way or didn't go my way. And and I was like, but the technicals are showing this, and my due diligence is showing this, and the company, these are their numbers. It just makes no sense that this is not happening, right? And I did some one-on-ones with Bruce, and he basically would tell me, sometimes bad things happen to good companies, and good things happen to bad companies. The stock market is not going to do what you want it to do. The stock market is going to do what it does, whatever it feels like doing, right? And there's trillions of dollars in it. So, if you hear about a specific company doing something and then them moving the market, very unlikely. Not saying that, that Mystery doesn't love company, right? But it's just there's just so much money. And so don't get discouraged when things don't go your way. And don't try to be right all the time. So, you know, I learned patience in that aspect. And he was just like, just be patient and know what you're holding, know your research, and know that, you know, um, just give it patience, give it time, give things time to develop. And that's kind of I relaxed a lot more and I made more money. And that's just it's a fact. All right, here we go. Dude is saying I'm heavy on MSTR. That's my favorite to sell calls on. It ratchets up and down nicely. The IV tends to perform very well for selling premium on almost any short-term strategy. Yeah, no, I MicroStrategy is a good one. I agree. I totally agree. I like MicroStrategy, dude. Charlie saying live in Ottawa, Ontario, but I'm at my cottage in Quebec watching today. Is it cottage or cottage? I don't know. I like it. Uh, CKT, Champaign Urbana, Illinois, near University of Illinois. Followed Micron for the past 3 to 4 years. Got a good handle on it, but it's a big corporation and premiums aren't huge. I do know Micron, and I agree. That's one of the reasons I didn't go into it, because if I'm going to spend that money, I kind of like volatility and I like bigger premiums, at least on the stocks that I trade every day. There's some that I don't trade every day on another portfolio, and those are the ones that I don't really touch, or seldomly do I. And so those are where the boring stocks go, right? Always diversify your portfolio, my friends. Let's see here. Dude is saying MSTR is known but not understood. They're constantly issuing shares and focused on creating liquid or a liquid share in options market for their stock. Yeah, I can see how people just get discouraged. Too many shares available sometimes. But I mean, that's why shorts exist, right? JJ saying New Jersey wrote on BYON weekly credit spreads into earnings. Okay, that I can see that premium being high on that because of earnings, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Dude is saying it's hard for me to not get excited about a stock I've watched go from 1 billion to 113 billion market cap. I agree. I agree. Let's look at SoFi. A lot of us came into SoFi when it was IPOE, right? Um, Here we go. JJ saying Ivy Crush, orange juice. That's exactly it. W. Walters, Hi Savage, OC Cali. I'm making bank on spot spreads. What is spot? Let's see here. I'm very curious. Spot spreads. Spotify. Ooh, yeah, that's good. It was up. Let's see here. Almost. It was up 4% today. Would have been a good to sell covered calls on it. See, whenever a stock approaches 5% or more on a green day is when I sell my covered calls. And again, Conversely, when it falls 5 to 10% on a day, it's when I do cash secured puts. It's the way I work, and it works for me. It's my strategy. Yeah, no, I can see that. Spotify would be a good one. And I like Spotify. I've had Spotify for a few years. We have the family membership, and so I love the fact that we can listen to any song by anybody from like all different areas of the world. My kids listen to something different like every day, and it's just I don't have to buy the CD, right, or the whatever it is that they buy now, the digital assets, all that stuff. I don't care. They just listen to whatever they want. Um, Andres de la Torre saying thank you for your advice on SOUN. Oh, no worries. Of course, it's just again, it's not really like it was just information, right? So like it's just you weren't seeing it, and I was just like, look, what if you looked at this and you bring in more money for this, and for less money that you're risking? So I think that's a win-win. You're bringing in, let's say, $100 more, and then you're risking $50 less, so that's $150 swing. For you, that benefits you. Double D saying, good morning. I've made money both ways on SoFi today. Savage, could you post your top 10 favorites? I'd like to get into a few more tech stocks other than what's mentioned in the Uncle Bruce show. Well, what's funny is Uncle Bruce talks about some stocks that I brought into the show. I think no one knew about C3.ai like 3 years ago or so. And you could look at the videos, right? You could so look at the videos. And I kind of was telling people, like I tell people, now, hey, look at this company, look at that company. And then C3.ai was, I think, trading around $25-$30 then. And I was saying, there's this company who just took a contract away from Palantir, and they're the real deal. C3.ai, and then I think Bruce didn't like it. Bruce was like, I don't really like it. I see that they're not making money, and then this and that, and then more people, kind of started trading it and looking at it, and eventually, Bruce just saw how much people liked it, the premiums you can get. He went in and he did a deep dive, and he saw that there's not many shares available, and it's really easy to move. And he liked it. He said, you know what, and he started talking more about it, and it became one of the regulars. Same thing with Unity. I don't know if Roblox picked up steam a little bit and then kind of fell off. I think it just got too expensive. But Palantir is another one I brought in. He said there was just too many shares. He didn't like it at all because he said there was just too many shares. However, I kept bringing it up, and then more people kept bringing it up, and eventually he said, people are talking about it, we'll talk about it. It's trading at like 600, 700, forward P ratios, right? So it's insane, but it keeps inking contracts with the government. And that's what the cash cow is right now. So my Savage 10, I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I changed them from time to time just because I want to make more premiums, right? And I want people to make more premiums than not. But I can give you an overview. I mean, it's just, SoFi is one of them, obviously, right? C3.ai, the ticker is AI. That's another. Unity is another one. Rivian is another one. Obviously, GME, ACHR, SMCI, Riot. Let's see here. You know what? I'm honestly I'm gonna put NVTS on this one. NVTS, I like it. They just they just partnered with Nvidia. RXRX is another one. And right now I started to trade Webull again. I had talked about Webull, and maybe they inked the contract with a company I don't really like, so I kind of jumped ship. I think like a week ago, and I kept digesting the news and reading more and noticing that, you know what, let me not go in as heavy, right? But let me go in with a couple of hundred shares, at least cash secure puts, right? And I went in and I'm doing cash secure puts on Webull, and I'm bringing in a lot of premium. Um, I wrote some 1250 puts expiring January 2026, and I got 275 for them, right? Today, those were, you could have gotten 292 for those, but I did, 285 is the low. So, the stock is trading at $14, right? So it has to come down to 1250 for you to like put those shares. So you're, basically $1.50 out the money, and you're bringing in 275 on your 1,250 bucks. So you're basically bringing in 20% or more, right? What bank is going to give you that? And your risk is, it's a little minimal because it has to come down to 975 for you to break even. I am totally okay with that trade. The 52-week low for Webull, I believe, is $10, right? Let's see, 954. So I'm basically getting in at the 52-week low. If that was to happen, I go in at the 52-week low. I see nothing wrong with going in at the 52-week low of a company or lower. And the 52-week high for Webull was 79.56. So the upside, I can 7x my money, right? And so, I mean, that's, again, it's my risk, right? It's what is your appetite, your risk appetite on this one? Everybody's different. And again, and this is such a small portion of my portfolio. I'm not over leveraged at all. So far it's a bigger chunk of my portfolio because I have like 10,000 shares on this one alone. So if it moves, it's gonna move my portfolio a lot more than a couple of hundred shares of Webull, a couple of hundred shares of Roblox. Which is why you have to diversify, because that way, if one of your holdings goes down, it's not going to drag your portfolio down with it. Not, I'll be honest with you though, I don't mind having my portfolio bleed for weeks because that's my cue to look at the fear index. And if people are in extreme fear, it's when I will take out a friggin' loan, and then go and do cash secure puts, and then use cash secure put money to pay back the loan, just to take advantage of how much red there is. Because if my money's locked in on cash secure puts that are underwater, I don't want to close them and lose all that money. It just makes no sense to me. So especially if I really want to put those shares, right? So sometimes you're light on cash, and I hate going on margin. Don't want to go on margin. My account is a cash account, and so hate going on margin. You can get in trouble very quickly, and you guys will hear me say that again and again. So I trade a cash account only, and so I go in, and like I say, there's mailers that you get sent every so often, especially from my credit cards. So I get like a Citibank or like a Chase Bank or Bank of America Bank mailer, and it'll say uh, loans for 4%. Sometimes they quote you like a specific price, like a number. They say for $500 you could take out a $20,000 loan. Just an example. And so to me, that's 2.5%, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm taking in a loan for 2.5%, and I have 18 months with 0% APR. That to me is a win because I know for a fact that I can absolutely fucking outdo that 2.5% in 18 months. And so I bring in that it's free money. That's the way I see it. It's a little wee price that I'm paying to have access to that cash right away. and they're pretty quick at that actually. And then I'll just write, I'll write a check to myself, put it in my account. Um, I do digital banking, so I'll just take a picture of it, and within like 3 to 5 days, that money's available. But since I know that money is going to be available, right, I will then go in margin. So let's say I take out a $20,000 loan, I'll go in margin $20,000 on that day, and I'll just go crazy, right, with whatever it is that I'm thinking about doing, and then 5 business days later, that money that is coming in from that loan is available. So I'll just transfer it from my bank over to my brokerage account. And so it's an idea. I do it. It works for me. I've done it many times. And I suggest, that if you guys do want to take advantage like of very, very red weeks, months even, um, that's one of the ways to skin the cat, right? So let's see here. Kilua's here. Yo, Savage. Morning. Good morning, Kilua. Andres de la Torre saying, "I'm trying to wheel with sound. I like it. That's a good one to. That's a good one to wheel. You'll find that it's really hard for them to put the shares to you. So like you're kind of daring them. So I'm a little more aggressive on sound than I am others because I really do want the shares. Because to write cover calls on them, it's pretty awesome because it gyrates, right? It goes up and down really fast. So I take advantage of those spikes. Aurora is saying, "Good morning, Aurora. Good morning." Roaring Yeti is in the house. What up, Roaring? She's saying, "What's up, fools?" Roaring Yeti saying, "Hey, Savage, are you going to do a regular stream, as in specific days and times?" Roaring, I'm thinking about going live 2 or 3 times a week, right? Maybe sometimes more, but I do have a job, which I'm taking a vacation from right now. And I also have 3 children. My children are, 3, 6, and 10. So I really do have to thread the needle. And, I really do love what I do here. I can give people more different perspectives on stuff that we're trading. We're part of a community. We communicate. We're happy to see each other, right? And we're trading. We give each other trading ideas and advice, information. But also, I'm a dad, and I have to spend time with them. However, in the morning it's a little easier because they are sleeping in, especially during vacation time. Um, so they're sleeping in, and their mom is kind of making breakfast with them downstairs, right? So, and it gives me like an hour and a little bit more to come here and kind of, this is my time. So, like, I'm trading basically, and they know when dad is trading, they kind of leave me alone. So, this is kind of my trading time, right? So, but when I'm at work, it's going to be harder to actually go live. But like I said, I'm going to try to dedicate at least 2 days a week to the live stream. And I'm looking to come on like around 7:30 a.m. or 8 a.m., West Coast time, California time. But back in the day, whenever I would make videos, they usually would be on Saturdays or Sundays because that's when kind of I had time. But yeah, let's shoot for 2 times a week. Morning time. Around 7:30 to 8 a.m. West Coast time. Um, and if I can't make it on some day, I'm gonna go and I'll make a video and I'm gonna go live. You guys are gonna get the alert. I may go live. If not during market hours, like after market hours, right? Maybe in the evening at some point. So I'm trying my best here, my friend, but I don't get paid for this, right? I'm not making any money. I'm doing it just because, like I said, it's more of a hobby, and because I want the community to like stay kind of put right, but also trying to get to like 10,000 subs. Once I get to 10,000 subs, I'll get the little super chat sticker. That's kind of the goal. And then you fools can donate, so that we can have some better little trinkets in here, man. You make if I give you an idea and you make 3,000-4,000 bucks on a trade, a couple of bucks, $1,000 or whatever, you're like, Savage, you gave me that good advice, or like you gave me an idea on how to trade this, that. Here's 20 bucks, right? And then I'll be able to get better trinkets, maybe a better camera, microphone, better lighting. I don't know. I have all these ideas, but thumbs up. Definitely watch my videos, right? Even if it's in the background, and just have them loop, whatever, man. Just help me pick traction. But hoping to go 2 or 3 times a week. That's kind of the goal, right? Hopefully in the morning. Beach Boy saying IOVA is taking it on the chin as well. IOVA, let's see here. IOVA. You know what? Who talked about IOVA? I've heard about it. Ooh, it's down. You know what? It's down 8% today, right? Biotech. Biotherapeutics, actually. Let's see here. Biopharmaceutical company which engages in the development of a commercialization of cell therapies as novel cancer immunotherapy products. It leads product candidate LN-144 for metastatic melanoma is an autologous adoptive cell therapy utilizing tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes, which are T cells derived from patients' tumors. It's a pharmaceutical company, man. I try to stay away from pharmaceutical companies because it's kind of like Saba, right? It's like they're at the mercy of that one main medication they're working on, right? And if for whatever reasons they have a bad trial, it tanks. So you're basically at the mercy of some scientists, and sometimes they can't even read the studies. Sometimes the studies just go wrong for whatever reason. So that's kind of where I would stay away from it. RxRx is my choice, but because it's not a pharmaceutical company, it works with pharmaceuticals, right? But it has a product that pharmaceuticals companies use, and then it's able to get royalties from that. So if that medication pans out, they would get royalties for that. And so that's why I like RxRx, because it's working. I mean, it signed a contract with Bayer. It's not a small fry at this point. The market just doesn't know about RxRx, but when they do, the stock is going to $50 a share. So at this point, I'm taking advantage of the premiums that it has. I'm writing a shitload of cash secure puts because I'm trying to get to 5,000 shares of RxRx, and if I can get paid to buy those 5,000 shares, the better. But for me, I would like RxRx to stay down here another year so that I can definitely add to my position, right? Now, IOVA, I don't know much about, but I do know it's taking it on the chin. If you were to get in, I would look at getting a big chunk, which is going to September, at least September, on a put. It's 269 right now. I would do the 250s, and I try to ask for $40, 40 cents per share. I mean, you're basically getting, 15% or more. I would go to January, and I would dare the market to put those 250s to me, and I'd ask for 65. However, September is better because it's just a couple of months away, and you could get, you're daring the market to put those to you, right? So get 40, 250. You're basically buying it at 210, and um you're protected until you get to 210, right? At $2, and then at that point, if it gets that cheap, you could just honestly just buy the damn stock, right? Um, and or you could do more cash secure puts. You do 150s or ones at that point. It's kind of what I did with Open Door. I was doing 150s and ones, and then they got put to me, and then I was just loading up on it, and eventually it ran the way that it did, and I made a killing. My wife made a killing, and that's kind of how you do it, right? Um, so yeah, that's my take on that, my friend. So CKT saying calls on hymns today could be nice. If it's up, is hymns up today? Let's see here. I should have taken the plunge on hymns when I had the chance. It was at 30. It was at 35. Yeah. So today is up 7%. Yeah, it's $64, 64 and change. I will go to October, man. Sell a call to October. Sell some 70s. You're basically daring the market to go to 70. So you're, asking for $550 more than where it's at now per share, and you're asking for $930 back. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to take a little less of a gamble, sell the 75 and bring in $765. I like that better. You're basically bringing in, so you're basically daring the market to sell your shares at 82.65. Nothing wrong with that at all, my friends. Nothing wrong with that at all. So you're basically buying a stock. Let's say if you were to buy it right now and you did buy right, you're basically making $1,800 on your investment. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I like it. It's a very good day to ride on hymns. Yes, sir. I agree. Khan is saying, if I don't have shares, do I buy 100 shares and write covered calls on GLXY? Oh, well, see, if you want to do a buy right, you can. But what I would do is, I'm so against this because it's green, right? You never write puts on green days. But if you really want it, right, and you really want the stock, and you're like, I would not mind buying it at 28.36. Why don't you do 27.50 cash secure put on up to October, right? So you're basically telling the market, I will buy it 100%. I will buy this stock at 27.50 on October 17th. But for my troubles, for me, out of the kindness of my own heart, for believing in this company and wanting to own it, and me giving you my hard-earned cash, I am Mother Teresa. I'm so kind. I would like $535 in my pocket today. So right now, you could get paid to buy that stock at less than it is right now, at 86 cents less. So you're basically on the hook to buy it at 27.50, but you're going to get paid $545. That's what you're telling the market. You're saying, I believe in this company. GLXY is a company I want to own. I believe in it so much that I'm buying it on a green day. And I'm going to pay you $27.50. So you're going to take $2,750 out of your pockets, and you're going to put it on escrow, basically, right? And giving it to your broker. And you're saying, Mr. Broker, I really want this company. Please tell them. And I would like, for my troubles, $545 so that I can buy it on October 17th. And somebody out there in the world of options will take that contract and say, you got it. And guess what? You just made money, my friend. You made pretty much 20% back. You will make 20% back for return on investment on this transaction, on this trade. What is wrong with that? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. If this is not financial advice, this is if it's a company that you like, you're the one that's been following it for however long, right? If it was a company I was following for however long, and I really, really wanted it. I believe in it so much that on a green day, I'm willing to buy it, get paid for it. That's what I would do. Ricardo Scott Savage. What up, Ricardo? Ricardo. Larry Titus is in the house saying hello, everyone. Tom is saying good to keep the community together. I'm from Bruce too. I think I've seen you around, Tom, for sure. I exactly how I feel. Dennis McElroy saying my SoFi yesterday sold 100 shares at 24.37 and also sold three $25 covered calls 126 for 347. Closed at the end of the day for 280 and was happy with the $200 profit. I have 15 $22 and $20 puts flying still. There's nothing wrong with that, my friend. I think you're if you stay in the channel between 20 to 25, I think that's going to be the key for SoFi in the next 3 months. Trip Hazard is saying GME cash cure puts 20s for October. Yeah. I mean, I have 23s. GME, it's a powder keg, man. Let's see. You said 20s, right? For October. You're getting 121 back. I'd like to get at least 10% back, especially going that far out, right? But I mean, it's. I would do it on a red day. I would write that on a red day. I try to get $2 for it. On a red day, I can see you getting anywhere from $1.75 to $2. And there's a gambler out there that will take that bet. I can guarantee that. I would not write that put today per se. Wait for a red day. Wait for the shares to drop to like 22, 22.15, something like that. And then try to get $2 for it. $20, get 10% back. I would wait for that. Personally, that's what I would do. Beach Ram is saying good morning, everyone. What's up, Beach Ram? Beach Boy saying Lucid January 2027, 2250 cash and puts just wrote 189. That, my friend, is a good write. That is a good. You're getting almost 30% back. I see nothing wrong with that at all. Honestly, I think they're about to have earnings. I think they're going to surprise some people next week, and I think that you're going to make some money. JJ saying, please post the link whenever you live stream in the Discord market and trading group. I think I did. I believe I did. Beach Boy, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I always, that's the first thing that I do when I go live. I say, give me a few minutes or give me a second. I'm trying to let people in the Discord know that I'm kind of trading, or I'm sorry, that I'm going live right now. So yeah. Beach Boy saying, Tom, welcome. Beach Boy saying, Larry. Dennis is saying, this AM I sold 20. Oh, I just lost you. So hard. Let's see here. This AM I sold a $18 August 1st put spreads for 26 cents. Just closed them for 10 cents. Quick hits, always nice. You know what, Dennis McElroy? I think that's cool for you, but I don't do spreads, man. I do them. I just don't talk about them because it's too much of a gamble. Especially when it's like, such a short amount of time and like especially 0 day till expiry. I don't condone those. Just I want to be, I started this channel and I've spoken about this. I want to treat people's portfolios as if it was mine, on the conservative side, right? Because that's why I talk about taking big chunks. Instead of doing like 75, 50 cent, I bring in $1, bring in $1.50. Because I want people to make money, not lose money, and you can lose money quickly like that. And then doing cash secure puts, especially somebody just asked, right? Khan, I think, asked about going in on that company um, and buying it at 28 something. And I said, why don't you do 27.50 October, bring in 500, $40, $45. That's the approach that I want to teach people and people to see that, you know, you're protected. He's protected up to like 20 something on his cash secure puts. He's $22 or something, right? So essentially would be buying it at 22 at that point. He's on the hook. But if not, then he made money. And so that's why I want to stay away from spreads, especially at such a short time frame. I'm not saying that you can't make money on them. Obviously, you can. I just I want to be. I want people, especially like the newer people, to get a really good footing on covered calls and cash secure puts, because that's kind of how you can make more money and a lot more conservative. Um, Newsflash: Uncle Bruce gave me permission to share some video I made. YouTube search the best of stock markets with Bruce. You should find 3 videos showing my favorite stock market with Bruce moments. Feel free to share. Will do, Larry. There you go, peoples. You guys could look at the best of stock markets with Bruce. Dennis McElroy saying I'm Chewy on Discord. Gotcha. Chewy, like Chewbacca. I get it. Tom, go. A good man, Larry Titus, started following your dad's pastor channel. I didn't know your dad was a pastor. That's cool, man. Poto's in the house saying, yo, let's go. What's up, Mr. Premium of the Option, a.k.a. Poto? Larry Titus, Tom, nice. We share the same name. I'm junior, he's senior. I got it. Ken's mom saying, W. Walters, I'm just starting to look at spreads. Can you give me an example of what your kinds of spreads you're right on? People talk about each other. Ken's mom, go open, rooting for those calls Beachy bought a few days ago. I don't know. I think Beach Boy may have sold them already. I could be wrong. Poto saying, Tom, nice. Option gamblers about to buy me a GMT Batman. Nice. Jay, you saying, Savage, which stock will be Uncle Bruce's first trade? I want to go with GME. Maybe SoFi. Joey V saying, Savage. You're like a pretty Uncle Bruce. I don't know about that. All right. I'll look forward to your videos. Thank you. Let's go SoFi. Beach Boy, I always a Danny new fave. Oh, Jesus. Give me a second, guys. Got to take this call. Hello? Yes, sir. Good morning. Tomorrow through Sunday? Absolutely. Okay, so here, let me tell you now. Yeah, so it's starting tomorrow. Okay. So I'm gonna right now. Okay. So they are set up. Okay. Okay. Ish. Yes, I can. Okay. I I I was. So I think I know where you're at. Yeah, yeah. I could always give you a call, but yeah, I know you are. You got it. You got it. No problem. Of course. Just so you know, have you Charlie Dill is a good camera guy. Gotcha. Got it. Got it. All right. Sounds good. You got it. Bye. Oh, right, my Drew. Sorry about that. Had to take a personal call. This is what happens on the live, man. This is what happens on the live. So let's see here. What else do we got? What else do we got? Yeah, no, the first Uncle Bruce first trade, I think SoFi or GME. That's kind of, we could have a pool going on who who wins that bet, but I think it'll be GME or SoFi. Aurora saying, I'll look forward to your videos. Thank you. Let's go SoFi. Oh yeah, no. So Iowa is a Danny new fave. Okay, well, Danny Deals. So he's one of the few guys that I'm sure he has a reason for it. Just like I have my reason for like FRC, right? You could do all the due diligence. You can do, all the studying, and then you can look at the at all. I mean, you can look at RSI. You can look at Bollinger Bands. You can look at uh, daily moving averages, and I mean, it's just the fundamentals. Sometimes, again, bad things happen to good companies. It's just the way it is. So I'm not saying that Danny doesn't know. I mean, Danny is a good guy. Danny does great research, and I'm sure you know what it'll pan out. But as of right now, just from what I was seeing, um, from the perspective of making money, right? If you're gonna jump into IOVA, cash your puts, because that way it's less of a blow. Because I can just see from just looking at the graph, it's downtrending, right? Whatever reason it has for downtrending, um, none of my business, right? But it's downtrending, so you're protecting yourself, right? And if you really want to stop, do like I said, 250s, and dare the market to put those shares to you, get paid for it, and worst case scenario, you get those shares at a cheaper price point, and then you could again do more cash secure puts, in the $2 land, 150 land, and then eventually it'll pop up. Well, meanwhile, just gorge on all those shares that you're getting and getting paid for to get right. Um, it's a gamble for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, um, every company is a gamble, right? Every company is at the mercy of the market and the shorts. Um, but we can fight back now. So, John Hapser saying, hey, everyone. What's up, John? Zeta State is in the house. Yes, well, I'm Hispanic, so we can call me Tio Savage. We got an Uncle Bruce already, so I'm Tio Savage. Beach Boy, Uncle Savage, LMAO. Bobby Atkinson saying, sup, Playboy? Whose money are you taking today? I'm taking the gambler's money every day, man. And even when I don't trade, that data is decaying, right? That time premium is decaying. So I'm that's how I'm making money. And just as we speak, lo and behold, GameStop is having a little teeny wee pop. Hopefully, can pop through 23. We're at 22.77 right now, so it's trying to make a run to 23. I think it's going to 25, 26 in the next week or so, but let's see what happens. Zeta State saying, "Go Savage, go!" Yes, sir. I've okay. Hey, Savage, I'm trading the regular way, buy, sell stocks, but I want to start covered calls and stuff. You talk about where can I learn the ropes online? Any suggestions? Greetings from LA. Um, Uncle Bruce, man. Stock markets with Uncle Bruce would be a great way to kind of learn the ropes. He has a set of courses that he sells online. And I know it's going to sound like boo boo, but you don't have to buy them all. Just buy like one. Class number one, it's like $200 or like 100 something bucks. And he'll explain what cover quotes are. I mean, this is information that you can learn on your own on YouTube. You can just look at the thing is that you don't know who's good. Everyone has different ways of cover calls and how to trade. So you're gonna spend maybe 50 to 100 hours just perusing through the internet and trying to figure it out. And you will. It'll just take a lot longer than if you were to go to stock markets with Bruce, buy the $200 course, class number one or class number one and two, and then learning. Watch his videos, watch his old videos, and then you see how it is, right? That's like, I mean, honestly, he makes it so simple to learn. A cover call basically is just you're willing to you're willing to sell your stock at a price point. You get to choose when. You get to choose the premium you want to get paid. Um, Within reason, of course. There's always like a bid and ask, right? And then you get to choose, how to exit. And cash secure puts are the same thing. I was just talking about, some company that's $28 today, right? 28 and something. And I was saying instead of buying it for 28 something today and selling a covered call, you know, um, it's a company that's already popping. We don't know if it's going to scale back. What you can do is, you could put $2,750 on escrow, with your brokerage account and say, I'd like to do a cash secure put, right? And then choosing 2750 because this person is obviously looking to buy it at 28 something. So paying 2750 is even better. And then you're not buying it today. You're saying, look, I would love to buy it in October. 3 months from now. That's not terrible. And if the company is good, it's going to stay within this range, right? If the company's bad, it's going to go down. Or not if the company's bad, but if it downtrends. And then this person can ask for $545 to buy that stock at 2750. So you're basically getting paid to buy a stock you want. That's a cash secure put. That's what I would recommend doing before you do covered calls. And then once you get those shares put to you, you could wait for like green days of it popping 5% or more, and then you could do a covered call. Say the company's worth $10, it goes to 11. You're saying, okay, I'll sell it for 12. And 2 months from now, and you'll bring in $1.50 in premium, which is $150, right? $150. And you're selling at 12. So you're essentially making $13.50 on a $10 investment. So you make 35%, right? You multiply that by 10, or multiply it as however many times, right? But like if you multiply it by 10, that's $3,500. That's a good chunk of change. And so that's kind of like the very, very um, narrow definition of what a covered call and cash secure put is. Um, so that's what I vote. That's what I would recommend. Stock markets with Bruce channel, and the old man. He taught me. He's kind of one of my mentors. He's taught a lot of people that are here on my channel right now. And he's a good guy, man. You could actually catch him on lives. He's gonna go off air starting tomorrow regularly, but he's got videos that you can watch. Again, how much is your time worth, right? So are you going to spend 50 to 100 hours perusing through the internet trying to figure out what a cover call is, or would you just like to spend 150, 200 bucks and watch, a class of like 2 hours, and then it clicks? Well, I mean, you're going to watch these videos over and over again, right? Take notes, and then put it to use. Don't start with expensive companies. I suggest you start with smaller companies. You have an extra 400, 500 bucks. You can start with companies like RX, right? I think someone was just talking about a company right now. What is the company that Beach Boy was saying? Oh, there's a company called NVTS as well. Um, let's see here. IOVA. Yeah, it's 270 today. So 100 shares of IOVA would be like 270 bucks, right? So again, you can start with that and then do a cash secure put on IOVA for expiring September 19th. And then you could basically say, the stock's 270, you're guaranteeing it to buy at 250, so you do a 2.5 put, 250, and then you ask for $40. You say, I want 40 cents for every share. And then someone in the world of options will say, I'll take that. So you're basically putting up 250 bucks to guarantee you're going to buy it, and you get 40 bucks back right away. So you're essentially, worst case scenario, are buying it at 210. That's your break-even point, right? Nothing wrong with that, especially in a company you want to own. Zed is saying, why have a bear? Put the bull up. Nah, man, this is how I feel about the overall market. And then remember, Jerome Powell is speaking today, right? He always drives the market down, man. Always. So, we'll see what happens. But, I'm looking at just my stocks, right, that I'm trading. It is a mixed bag, I'll give you that. But I wouldn't say we're all green. Overall, I feel like a little bearish. It's just how I feel, my friend. If I put a bull up, then you'll know that I feel I feel bullish. But right now, that's just how I feel. I don't know. Bobby saying you got one day to find Uncle Bruce to learn the class where the classes are. Yeah, I agree. Beach Boy Zed, bear is up because Savage ain't lying. He feels the bears are coming. Let's see here. J Plus Peaks, remember Zed? CKT saying I got a 75 out for September on hymns. Might write some more today. That's great. That's a great write. Absolutely. You made some money just like that. Premium is saying I go, okay, if you want to learn for free, binge watch YouTube videos on covered calls and cash your puts. If you want to pay to learn, maybe someone here can point Uncle Bruce's link. Yeah, I agree. Bobby Atkinson, cannot find you, Larry. Well, it's just another. Juan Velasquez says, good morning, everyone. Beach Boy Discord, Beach Boy Savage Post in general. Keep up. Dude, Larry Titus, you rock. Dude is saying, just search in YouTube the best stock markets with Bruce. I found them right away. There it is. So on this on YouTube, just the best of stock markets with Bruce. There it is, guy. Ivo, there it is. The best of stock markets with Bruce on YouTube. Give a like and join this channel as well, my friend. So I'll be talking about covered calls and cash secure puts. Bobby saying, thanks, dude. I can only find one Larry's dad. Larry, this could show Uncle B's vid over there. Roaring Yitty saying, sup, dude face. Larry Titus, Beach Boy. I was just looking into someone can add me. I think that's your brother, Rory, too, saying, his phone's as loud as my mom's. Listening in on Savage. Put it on speaker. Roaring saying, who's Danny? Danny's a crazy person, Roaring. Larry Titus, ID and DQ to get you over to the generous on Discord. Larry on Discord is going to be something else. I was saying, thank you, Savage. I look up Uncle Bruce. Go ahead, do it. Do yourself a favor, my friend. Rory Giddy saying, I like options plays on YouTube for learning options. I like Uncle Bruce because he's an opinionated, grumpy old man. Jeff Glass is saying, I think Uncle Bruce's class number 1 discusses what calls and puts are, and class number 2 is about writing. There it is. Options Play on YouTube has free educational classes. Rory Giddy saying, every Thursday, learn of them ones from Bazinga. Larry Tanny saying, DQ says you should send an invite on, see his invite on Discord. There it is. All right. Let's see what else are we working on today. Let's see. Weeble is trying to go to 14. AI. Man, if anybody wrote cash secure puts on AI this morning when it was down a bit, I salute you because it's already recovering. You know, AI $25 cash secure puts to 2027 would not be terrible. Free money. I love free money. Let's see, NVTS, Navitas Semiconductor. That's another one that I'm adding, guys, to the watch list. And I'm trading it already, but you guys can put it on your radar as well. NVTS, they signed a contract with NVIDIA. And their premiums are not bad at all. $7 cash secure put brings you in 83 cents right now, 83. So you basically you put a stinker at 85, but getting paid $85 to buy MVTS at 7, the stock is at 750. Nothing wrong with that at all. You could go all the way. That's September. If you want to go to January and be even more cautious, you could do 160. A 160 cash secure put of $7. $7 cash secure put brings you $160 to January. I mean, honestly, I think September would be better because you're getting more than 50% of that for just a couple of months as opposed to going 6 months out, 7 months out. All right, let's see here. RXRX. RXRX is higher lows now, man. Remember when $4 was the high, then $5 was the low? I mean, and then now it seems like $6 is the basement. It's gonna start going up now. I have some $6 cash secure puts that are expiring September. I have $7 cash secure puts expiring in September as well. I have some $10 covered calls expiring in 2026. And I have $5 puts expiring in 2027 on RXRX. That was a cash grab, by the way. I'm looking to exit those as soon as RXRX goes to like $8. And it will go to $8. It's just a matter of time. Archer Aviation is $10 today. It's got earnings coming up, so the premiums are nice. Anybody that was looking into owning Archer Aviation, you can sell a $10 put and try to ask for $137 or $136 to put those shares. That's over 10%. That's like 13%, 13.5% to go to October. You want to do September? You could bring in that. I like September better because you can bring in 11%. You can do $10 cash secure put for 111 right now. I like that better. More money. Shorter amount of time, but it's more money. I wouldn't say more money, but it's obviously less money, but it's only like a 10-cent difference for a whole month. Actually, no, like 2 months. Someone. All right, let's see here. Red Cat. What is Red Cat doing today? Red Cat is down some. Let's see here. You can go to October. $8 cash secure put for Red Cat will bring you in $150 right now. That is not terrible at all. That's almost 20%. Yeah. Let's see here, GME. GME cash secure puts are never a bad thing on GME, man. Like I said, I like going to October right now for GME and doing some 22s. 22s will bring you in, right now, $2.10. You do 220, put a stinker of 220. You're basically bringing in 10%. I like it. You can go to January, do 22 cash secure puts, and then bring in 340. Ask for 340. On the hook for $22. That's not wrong at all. Not with that. ASTS. ASTS has recovered some. Look at my $50 cash secure puts are making me money. I'm up 5% already. I love it. Mara, what is Mara doing? Mara is making me money. My cash secure puts, my $17 cash secure puts are making me money. Clean Spark is another company I like, guys. I've been following since it was like $6-7, and now it's almost $12. Yeah, I like it. It's a good company, good premiums. So, all right, here we go. What do we got? I'm okay saying, Mr. Premium of the Option. Thank you. Rory Yiddy saying that you use technical analysis to help you choose when you write options. I do, but it's it's you can learn that on your own. I'm not trying to do technical. I'll talk about RSI. I'll talk about Bollinger's, daily moving averages and such. But honestly, the stock is telling you what to do. I literally was just saying that sometimes the technicals could be telling you something, right? But it doesn't guarantee that things are going to happen. And then there's always black swan events. There's always something, especially with this administration. See, this is the mistake a lot of people are making, and it's just people are trying to trade this market as if it was a normal market. This is not a Joe Biden market. This is not a George Bush market. This is a Donald Trump market. And I know that people are saying, well, the president really doesn't move markets like he does. He really, really does. And you cannot be trading the last administration markets now. It just doesn't work that way. You need to trade the Donald Trump economy, the Donald Trump market. And it's volatile. You can do all the analyses that you want, and look at technicals, but at the end of the day, he says one thing, and he brings down companies with him. Conversely, he does something, and then the market loves it and goes up, barring any technical analysis, right? So yes, I look at, well, specifically if something's like oversold or overbought, right? Like it's telling you. So you thread with caution. But at the end of the day, the technicals kind of, I wouldn't say they go out the window. I just don't pay attention to them as much as I would if it was another a regular market. I don't know if it makes any sense, but I do play. I do look at the technicals. It's just I don't put like a really heavy weight on them as opposed to looking at other things, right? And also, the companies that I'm trading, I've been trading for a while, so I know how they move. And you guys will see that if you've been trading a stock that you like for like a couple of years, you kind of get a sense on how it moves, right? And that's the thing with me and SoFi, and that's why I was saying people, last week, Monday, I was saying people sell covered calls. Sell covered calls on SoFi, to sell 20. I was really saying sell 25s. But if you really were scared, I saying sell 30s to 2026, 2027 even, right? Get paid. And some people were like, yeah, I wrote 25s. They made a lot of money. And some people were like, yeah, I'll just wait for SoFi to get to 30. And now SoFi is at $22, $21, right? So, was it overbought? I don't know. Was it something else? I don't know. But just let the stock tell you what to do. I do know that that's why I tell you guys, right? If a stock moves more than 5% on a specific day, SoFi was up 20%. Right covered calls. If a stock goes down 5 to 10% on a day or more, right cash secure puts. Now, does this mean that the stock is not really going to fall anymore? No, it does not mean that. It just means that no, now you've made an assessment and you're like, if a stock, let's say, was $12 and it goes down to 11, right? And then you write cash secure puts to 10, you're basically telling, you're basically waiting for it to go down another dollar and you're getting paid to buy it at 10, which means you're now, if you get 10%, you're buying at $9. So you're protected from 12 to 9. Do you see that? That's exactly what I mean by protecting yourself. So, and then you get the shares. So, like, let's say that the stock does keep going down, right? And it downtrends, and then the strike date comes about, and you don't roll, and you get put those shares. Great, you just bought a company that you really wanted for a lot less than some dummies paid at market price on that day. Now, there's also another flip side to that coin, which is if the stock recovers, right, and then you don't get the shares, well, you can say, "Oh man, I really wanted the shares." Did you really, or did you want money, the opportunity to make money? Why are you in the stock market? It's to make money. You made money. Don't get greedy. Don't oink around, right? Bulls will make money, bears will make money, pigs will get slaughtered, and that's what happens, right? I oinked around with GME like last week, I think, or the week before. It went to 24. I could have sold some $25 covered calls uh, out to, I think, September or October and brought in $3 per share, right? But the technicals were saying it's going to 25.50, right? The technicals were telling me this and that. It's like it didn't. So, again, take what the market gives you, right? And the stock is telling you what to do. Don't get paralyzed. Don't overthink it. At the end of the day, as long as you make money, you're good. There's always going to be another stock. There's always going to be another dip. There's always going to be another rip. Take advantage of that, right? And even people like I myself, I got caught up, right? It's like even people that have been trading for a very long time, are wrong. And you will be wrong. You're going to make mistakes and be okay with that. Be okay with that. Know that you're going to make some boneheaded, dumbass moves. But you know what? The difference between a seasoned trader and somebody that's just scared at this point and beginning is just taking it on the chin and keep it moving, right? Be like a boxer. Boxers, they come in, they take a good uppercut to the chin. Some will fold, and then some boxers will go out. They're out for the count. They're done. Some will take it in, they'll shake it off, and then they'll put their hands up again, and then here we go. Let's keep it going, and that's what you need to do, right? Sometimes we got to take it in the chin and just keep it moving. I mean, look at I made a bonehead call with GME, and I have not written anything on GME, but I'm writing cash secure puts on Webull. I'm writing on RXRX. I'm writing on every, all these other companies, and I'm making a nice chunk of cash. I'm writing on Archer, AI, MVTS. I got some SQQQs. I have some ARCAT. I have some GME, some Newsmax even, right? Some ASCS, some Mara, some Enphase, QUBT, some Serve, some CLSK, some QBTS, some Sound, BBAI, some Sentinel One. I mean, I even got some Sava, right? I got some Roblox, some Open. I mean, it just SMCI. It keeps going and going. I have my portfolio. My portfolio has so many cash secure puts. I'm sitting on a pile of cash. Most of the what I just mentioned is all cash secure puts. I am sitting on a pile of cash, and there's nothing wrong with that. Worst case scenario, I'm sitting on a pile of stock. Best case scenario, all that cash, all that money gets returned to me. My collateral gets returned to me, on those dates, and I have a lot of cash then to reassess the market, see where I want to go, and put it to good use again and keep making premium, right? That's why we're here, to make money. We're here to get fucking richer. Don't be greedy, but get richer. It's a it's it's a slow grind, right? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. People that try to make it here quick and try to, you know, put all their eggs in one basket and the FOMO, this is not your channel. This is not your channel. I'm here for people that are serious about investing, that want to take care of their money, that work hard for their money, and that want to take a more conservative approach, and you still will get paid. Your portfolio is going to grow, but you have to give it time, right? That's anyways, I didn't mean to go on a rant, but I want you guys to make money, man. I want you guys to make money. I want to hear that people that are watching me bought a fucking house. Somebody that, like Roaring Yiddy. I don't know if you have a house, but like, I'd love to hear that you bought a house with, with the premium you generated from covered calls. I'd love to hear about, Larry Titus buying like a building, Premium of the Option buying another building. It's just, I'm okay. You're starting off. I'd love to hear when you make your first $10,000. Jeff Glass. I'd love to hear when you buy another building or a yacht. It's just, I want people to do well, man. Let's see here. Beach Boy saying, great. Mara CEO said he thinks it's stupid that all these companies are buying Bitcoin for treasuries. I was surprised to read that. He said something dumb. It goes against what he's trying to do, right? Because he's in the cryptocurrency business, but again, sometimes CEOs do say stupid shit. And is the market going to punish him for that? We don't know. We'll find out, right? Premium saying, I'm okay. No worries. Stick around in the game will benefit you tremendously. Just ask some of the folks in the chat. I agree. Double D saying NBTS or MBTS? NV. Navitas. NVTS. Roaring Yiddy saying they work hard for their, so you better treat them right. Roaring saying couldn't help it. They work hard for the money, so hard for the money, and you better treat them right. I like it. I got it. Juan Velasquez saying take it on the chin. Mano de Piedra Duran. That's right. That was the man. You know what? It's one of my favorite boxers, man. I think Roberto Duran, Mike Tyson are my favorite boxers. And Julio Cesar Chavez, too. I mean, those three guys right there are just, they're all so different. But the one thing that they have in common is they come from like nothing. And they just, they grind it. They punish people. And they never look for shortcuts. Except Mike Tyson, he didn't look for a shortcut. He looked for someone's ear. It's just, when Gus D'Amato died, that was it for Tyson, man. That was his. That was the person that really cared about Mike. He really had his best interest at heart, and everybody else just tried to make money off of Mike Tyson, man. But Gus D'Amato really loved that guy. He really loved that kid, man. Well, I say kid, he's older than me, but like, to him, he was a kid. He called him kid, right? Let's see here. Larry saying, I'm going to buy a hotel and run it like Multi Towers. Great advice, Salvage. Double D, thank you. Anyways, guys, I want to get out of here. It's been close to 2 hours now, and I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully, more people will watch tomorrow. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'll be going live tomorrow. This is my third day in a row, and I think tomorrow I'm going to be working. So that's what happens. However, I'm gonna try to maybe do a live, maybe Friday. If not during market, definitely after market, so that we can talk about the market, right? If not, I'll go live on Sunday. Either way, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you guys do comment, uh, and do share the channel. Um, you know, I'd appreciate if you guys could just give me a like and watch the videos, man, so I can get some traction, right? And then and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try to, like I said, go at least twice a week, right? This week I went on live 3 times, and I think last week I think it was 3 or 4 times. But you know, we'll keep it going. I'll do my best. However, you guys have to watch, because if I have just one person or two people watching, it's a little disheartening. But I mean, I like the way that everybody's commenting. That's good because we're keeping each other on our toes. People are talking about different stocks and different strikes or whatnot, and I think that's kind of cool. Anyhow, thank you for watching, Knuckleheads. I will see you guys on the next one. I don't know if YouTube is sending you guys the alert, but I'm gonna try to make sure that I do set it on like a specific time, and that way it could hopefully send an alert and people get it. If not, if you're in the Discord, I'll post up a link whenever I do a live. I usually try to do that. Anyhow, thank you for watching, Knuckleheads. It's been a pleasure, and I will be seeing you guys in a few days. Uh, take it easy, and you guys stay out of trouble. Keep making money. Thank you. Peace.